Now, let's start plant tissues. Plant tissues are majorly divided into meristematic tissue and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues are those tissues which are made up of actively dividing cells. In those cells, the capability of growing is very high. In permanent tissues, once the meristematic tissues are formed, when the actively dividing cells in the meristematic tissues are formed completely, they are well differentiated ones. They convert themselves into the permanent tissues. It means permanent tissues are made up of meristematic tissues. When there is actively dividing cells involved, and those actively dividing cells form the differentiated structures or tissues, those are known as permanent tissues. Now, meristematic tissues, based on their location, they are divided into three types: apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. The permanent tissues are divided into simple and complex. Again, the simple permanent tissues are further divided into three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Complex tissues or complex permanent tissues are further divided into two types: xylem and phloem. The sclerenchyma is further subdivided into fibers and scleretes, while the xylem and phloem, they are further divided into their respective elements or components. The components of xylem are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and number 4 is xylem fibers. The components of elements of phloem are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Now, simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues are different from each other. Simple permanent tissues are made up of the single type of cells. In complex permanent tissues, the cells are made up of, or these tissues are made up of more than two types of cells. It means there is the complexity in the formation. So therefore, it is termed as complex permanent tissues, about which we will discuss later.